What's up, y'all? It's Nightlife, and welcome to another edition of the Follow the Leader podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about something that's near and dear to my heart because I suffer from it. It is like a plague, it is like a disease. It is something that I've talked about here in some smaller terms, but today we're going to dig a little deeper into it. And that's being a professional procrastinator. In other words, procrastinator. That's the bane of my existence is being a procrastinator. But before we do that, please make sure that you subscribe. Please make sure that you continue to support on all mediums and forums. Continue to comment. Um, we're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify Podcasts. Wherever you get your podcasts, we're there. YouTube. And just continue to support the show. So I really appreciate y'all for doing that so far. Now that we're in episode 71 and we're creeping up there, getting closer and closer to 100, it gives me an opportunity to be able to go into this subject. Now, as you can see here, the consistency as far as being able to put this podcast out is has been inconsistent. And that's due to procrastination. Prioritize other things over this at times, to be honest, because there's so many things that I'm doing in regards to work, in regards to family, in regards to other interests that I have. And I have to circle back to be able to make sure I get this. I actually, to be honest, just record these in bulk just to make sure that I'm able to consistently roll out content. And even then, it's still hectic and hard to do. Being a procrastinator is it's having the option to do it today or do it later. And even if it's 10, 15 minutes later, or it's tomorrow, or it's next week, or it's next month, you look at that and you go, well, I don't have to do that today. And you prioritize doing something else, or you might not prioritize doing nothing. You might just be kicking it. You might just be at the house. You might just be opting to do something fun as opposed to that, opting to go get some more sleep, or opting to just do something else that's going to be more interesting and more fun than you having to put in the work to do the things that you need to do. And that's tough. That's really tough to be able to be honest about that, because, you want to be able to convey the fact that you have professionalism, you have a drive, you have a want and a need and a desire to be able to get things done. But that's not always the way it happens. And life don't really fall that way. We fall victim to emotions. We fall victim to bad days, good days, things that are unforeseen as far as circumstances are concerned. It's so many things that go along with that cost us opportunity sometimes because we choose to procrastinate. Some of the common reasons for procrastination is like, the fear of failure, trying to strike perfectionism, getting everything exactly right. That's always the musician's issue, is when they're doing something to try to make it perfect before they put it out, as opposed to just putting it out. I had that problem. Oh, well, this doesn't really sound right. Or I could have got this phrasing right. Or, the beat is here and not where I need it to be, or whatever. And then it delays a lot of things because you're still trying to just in that circle of trying to perfect things. And I have people around me that do that too. And it hurts, because then you get into the point where nothing comes out, where you have nothing, where you have nothing to show for all of the work that you're putting in to try to perfect this one thing. And you don't have anything to show for it, at least not any work for to share. Part of the point of being a creator is to be able to make sure you share. There are numerous podcasts that I recorded that I didn't put out because I was like, okay, this doesn't feel like it's up to standard, or maybe some things that are in there was not really that cool. So I made the choice to not put it out. I could have put it out. I could have just edited it, because I'm pretty sure there was good things that was on that particular pod that I could have kept, but I chose not to, because, I'm waiting for perfection. Sometimes you just look at a task and you go, damn, you know what? That's a lot. That's a lot. I don't necessarily know if I want to put in that type of work today. And that ends up being a problem for you. You just look at tasks and you think that they're too big and they're too daunting for you, and you don't want to do them. It takes you out of the challenge and attack phase where you want to go and go after it, because you figure that, man, there's too many moving parts, too much stuff I have to do. I know I got to do it. You know what? I'll do it tomorrow, or maybe I'll just do a piece of it and then I'll come back to it. And then there's just the one where I have is poor time and management skill. The poor time management skills. Poor time management skills is tough. You got a calendar. People tell you that they're doing things or what time you're supposed to be doing things and all of that stuff. And sometimes I got a calendar and sometimes I don't even follow it. Then I end up double booking, or I end up finding myself in situations where I was supposed to do something, but I'm not doing it. Or people are calling me like, hey, where are you at? And it's because I'm not looking at my calendar, or I'm not allotting myself enough time to be able to get that done. When I get to recording these podcasts, or when I get to doing music, or I get to doing anything that, is an outside task, I have to be able to allot that time to be able to get it done. I can't just widespread time that are widespread time blocks that are the same for the same task. You can't do that, because there are a lot of things that have to go into when you get into the editing phase, when you get into the mixing phase of music, when you get into the recording phase of music, when you get into the rehearsing phase of music, or just anything that you're going to do that is a project. There are lots of things that you have to make sure that you allot the amount of time for it. And if you don't, then you find out quickly, because you get into a situation where you're trying to rush and finish. And when you rush and finish, you miss a lot of things. You leave out a lot of quality, a lot of quality aspects. Um, you may misspell things. You may have bad editing. You may have sound issues. You may have all kinds of stuff because you're trying to rush to put it out because you need it. You need to get it out. Some of the pitfalls with procrastination is just the impact on productivity level. You are making an objective for yourself to be able to get something done. If it's time bound and you're trying to line it up and you're trying to set it up, you have to make sure that you're following your steps and your timeline properly. Because if you decide that, hey, I'm going to do this today, and then I'm supposed to do this portion of it tomorrow, and then you go, well, I finished up early today, so I got a little bit of time. Maybe you try to get some of it done that same day, because then tomorrow comes in and I got something else to do. I don't feel like doing it, and you end up missing. You set deadlines for yourself and you miss deadlines. You set goals for yourself, you miss goals. You set objectives for yourself, you miss objectives. You miss all that stuff. And it's because of the way you feel. You didn't feel like doing it, or you wanted to do something else. It's tough. It's tough. And it's up to you to be able to try to manage that properly. And you can, but sometimes you just choose not to. Sometimes I make the choice. I'm wired and predisposed sometimes. And I think there's an issue with me regarding that, because if I keep making that same choice over and over again, then it's more of a habit than it is, you know, than it is an excuse. That's just what I do. That's just what I do. And when it gets to that point, then you really got to take some corrective measures on it. And my procrastination is pretty bad. So it's like I'm trying to work through that and fix it. Part of the consequences with all of that is that there's long-term burnout. Um, you can fracture job relationships, friendships, you can fracture relationships in general. you can put yourself in an opportunity where you lose business. And I've had that happen too. Worst thing you ever want to do is be able to just be on some it's my time shit with a client. You never want to be in that situation. You treat clients like you got something else better to do than to take care of them, they won't be your clients anymore. You'll lose them. And early when I was starting my own business and all of that stuff, and I was doing things. I was doing CDs, I was doing t-shirts. Um, when I was doing those things, I was like prioritizing other things that I had to do over my clients. And I know I can take care of that. I'll get to it when I get to it. They can wait another day. No, they can't. And they paid you. They're paying you and they're giving you money, then you need to make them the priority. You can't make yourself the priority in that situation after you hold the money. That's not how it works. You get to a situation where you start procrastinating on work, people gonna start procrastinating on these payments. And that helps no one. Figure yourself out. Figure out what you need to do and make your clients the absolute priority on situations where you have to have something due. Finish to deadline. Finish before deadline. It'll give you so much space to be able to do other things, do other projects, have peace of mind. Do you want the stress of knowing it's due tomorrow and you have to make sure that all of this stuff gets done because you haven't done shit for the whole, you know, week that you were supposed to get it done? Some people like working under that pressure. It's like, I don't like working under that pressure. And sometimes I have to. And it sucks because it makes it not fun. It makes you not want to do what you're supposed to do. It makes you hate it. And you don't want to get in a situation where you hate it. But if you manage your time better, you won't have to do that. Follow the steps, do what you need to do, follow your process to the T, get your timeline straight. Then you had that comfort at the end, knowing that you followed your formula, you made your donut, and it's perfect. And you can get it to the client, and the client is satisfied. You know what it takes for client satisfaction, so get that done. But you want to be in a situation where you rush and you end up making a wholesale mistake where you have to waste product and have to redo stuff and do it over? Nah, man, it's not good. Not good at all. Um, and as I was saying before, like procrastination is one of those things where it can really ruin, um, it can really ruin relationships and friendships because people are depending on you to do certain things and then you don't. Hey, can you pick me up at 4 o'clock? I have a job interview that I need you to take me to. Oh yeah, I'll be there. 4:10, 4:20. Oh, you're late. I'm late to my job interview. What happened? Oh, I had some other stuff to do. Obviously, you didn't. You committed to being able to get people there at the time that you need to get them there. You need to follow through with that. Do something. Commit to something. Commit to timelines. When you commit to timelines, people expect you to be able to get those things done. You commit to timelines and you fail timelines in regards to these relationships with people, they'll end your relationships quick because they know they can't depend on you. You look like a liar, you look like a cheat, and you look like somebody that doesn't care about what it is that you need to do for them, and you was being selfish. So you have all of those things that will be lopped onto you as part of your reputation because you couldn't do what you needed to do to come through for them in that moment like you said you would. One of the things to be able to beat procrastination, always smart goals. Smart goals beat procrastination every time. Smart, measurable, active, relevant, and time bound. All of those things, if you're following that to the T, generally you will beat procrastination. Remember that conversation we was having a few pods ago where that I don't feel like doing it. Pushing through on the days that you don't feel like doing it is going to help you in the long run because you know that you can go to another gear when you need it. Just get it done. I don't feel like, man, I feel like I know I can get things done, 2 of these steps done tomorrow, although I can do one today. I don't really feel like doing it today. Then what? Then you get yourself locked into going, Instead of that being that one step process, two-step process, now it's a two-step process the next day. And it's always going to be the next day because and if you're successful in that particular situation, it makes it even worse because then you're going to think you can do it all the time. And your level of work changes, but your expectation is going, okay, well, I did it two steps on this day. With this one, I can do that with anyone. Then your level of work changes, then what? So think about those things. You have to be willing to be able to build an environment that holds you accountable for your procrastination. People around you need to hold you accountable for your procrastination. Your kids, your significant other, your boss, your friends, your clients need to hold you accountable for your lack of time understanding. You need that. People have to be real with you in situations. Can you please get this done? No, we had it happen before where you waited, and you know what happened when you waited last time. So let's not wait. Let's get this done. If you have a strong enough and encouraging enough team around you to be able to make sure that happens, things work. It may be annoying for the procrastinator to have somebody on their ass a lot, but hey, the benefit outweighs that. It outweighs the annoyance of people getting on your case about things that need to be done because there's a reason. Get it done. I got on my door to go out of my studio. It's a metal sign that says "Get shit done." I have that there to remind myself before I get ready to walk out of here and say that I'll do something tomorrow. That's in my face. So then I turn around and I sit right back down and I get it done. Happened with this podcast. I didn't want to record this today, but I had to look at that sign, remind myself, get shit done, go sit down, get this pod done. And it's a way of holding myself accountable. You want to be successful and avoid procrastination? Make sure you minimize your distractions. Take your cell phone, put it on the charger. Don't watch TV. Don't multitask. I had a client come over for a mixing project or recording project. Sorry, not a recording project. He came over. I was working on doing the shorts for the Gauntlet B battle for our interviews, and I was doing the editing for those clips. So I knew he was coming over around 2. Shout out to BA. He's coming over around 2. So I was in the middle of doing that. All I had to do was my usual process is when I know that a client is coming over to record, they send me their beat. I already have their beat loaded in the Pro Tools, have the recording every arm is set up. So when they walk in the door, we can brief real quick and then they can hop on the mic and go. I have those things set up for them. That's part of my process. This time, however, I thought, okay, well, I can just do one more clip before he gets here. And then he got here and I was in the middle of doing clips. So, I kind of wrapped that up. We go into the record. He records his song. Guess what? My monitors were on while he was recording the song because I was working on the clips and I needed to hear what I was doing out of the monitors while I was getting the clip set up. Didn't mute the monitors. Ruined a whole time of recording. So now I have a redo. And it's a loss of money because of the simple fact of He's already paid for his session. So now we have a free session that has to come up to redo the work. And it was still a level of procrastination because I didn't follow my process and I chose something else over what I was supposed to do. My main objective at that time was lock in for my client. And I didn't lock in for my client. I was too busy trying to do other shit. And you have to understand is when you're doing those things, you have to be locked in at that time. I'm doing this. This is my objective. This is the thing that I'm supposed to be responsible for. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Had I followed my process, then the next time he's coming over to record, he's recording something else, and I'm getting another opportunity to be paid for something. But now I created a waste of time, a waste of money, waste of process. One of the things you have to do in order for you to be able to beat procrastination is to create a positive mindset with yourself. Believe in what you're doing, understand what you're doing, and have passion and love behind it. I had a conversation with my son. We were out and we were on our studio tour. And so we were in the car talking, and he was talking about basketball and how he was like, he was working really, really hard and he got hurt. And so now he had to heal up and whatever. And so he was going through all of that. And he was like, I was trying to figure out why my results for basketball haven't been as good as they could have been. They're not as good as they could have been. Why is that? And what I told him was, you have to be in a situation where you have love and joy for what you do. Don't think about all of those other things. Don't put undue pressure on yourself. You have to lead with love and joy in what you do and passion in what you do. And all the other things will take care of themselves. You've been working really hard and you know what to do. You know how to play the game. You know what's expected of you there. Let the game come to you, but enjoy yourself. Because when you start doing all of the thinking and you start trying to control everything, every aspect at the same time, then you lose your fundamentals and you end up failing. And that's kind of the way that it goes in regards to procrastination. You're not leading whatever you're doing, joy, passion, love, understanding. If you're leading with those things, it makes the job easier and it makes you want to dive in. But if you're looking at it as, I got a box to check, I'm trying to make some money, I'm trying to do this. When you start looking at it that way, then it completely nullifies what it is that you do. You have to work hard to be able to make not only the right decisions, but the right things as far as the comfort and feel and joy and and love and passion behind what it is you're doing. Those things are a lot of things that will beat procrastination also, because you have joy. I can't wait to get to this. I can't wait to do this. Man, this makes me feel good. You know that. And that's what changes the game for you. We have to understand that procrastination is just a part of everyday life. It is one of the things that is always going to be around, and we're always going to run into it. The key is just noticing it when it happens. If you notice it when it happens, you can step in front of it and you can beat it. You can beat it by pushing through. You can beat it by having a team around you to go get that shit done. You can beat it by just having joy and love about it. Then being organized and following your plans and your processes to the T. If you do that, you can beat procrastination. Some people think the TV and the phone is undefeated. It's not. You don't need to do that stuff. You got a lot of time for all of that too. You can have your TV watching time at a certain time. You have your phone scrolling time at a certain time. Get you a Pomodoro clock. Hey, for 25 minutes, I'm locked in. Once that 25 minutes up, I'll take me a 5-minute break and I'll scroll and do what I need to do on the internet and on my phone or whatever. Once that 5 minutes is up, I'm back into my next 25 minutes and I'm banging this thing out. You can get one. You can get an app on your phone with it. Whenever I get out of sorts at work, whenever I get out of sorts in workflow at home, I use my Pomodoro clock. And I use it for focus. This time is uninterrupted time where I'm working straight on what I'm doing. And after I'm done, I reward myself with my little 5 minutes of being able to scroll or go have a drink or whatever. Great opportunities. There are tools to make you better. Your calendar will make you better. Pomodoro clock will make you better. Affirmations will make you better. That belief structure, that saying your goals, saying your objective, going over your workflow, making sure your workflow is cool, refreshing that, touching that up, walking through that many times as possible, and then just staying on point. Thinking of other people, think of your kid, think of your significant other, think of your client, think of yourself, think of your job, think of, whatever. Just lock in. When it's lock in time, just lock in. It will create value for you. And once you get into the process of being able to do that and being able to lock in and being able to be on time and punctual with the shit you're doing, man, it just opens up the world for you. And I do this podcast particularly because I'm going to watch this back to talk to myself about it. I'm absolutely horrible at procrastination because that's my thing. It's almost expected of me. It's almost part of my nature, my makeup. My wife even knows it. My kids know it. 2 things about me is that, he's a procrastinator and doesn't have the best memory. I could help myself on both accounts just by doing a little more work. All right. And that about wraps it up for the Follow the Leader podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, please interact. Thank you for following me on YouTube, and thank you for following me on Spotify. Thank you for following me on Apple Podcasts, TikTok, all of those modes and stuff like that. Thank you. Please continue to keep up following and sharing the material and also interacting with it. Be looking for some guests pretty soon, so just keep your eye out. So as we always say around this time, you got 3 options. You can lead, you can follow, or you can get the hell out the way. Peace.